This is where most people die, even though 70% of Canadians and Americans say they want to die at home. They don't. And death is mostly out of sight. And this makes it hard for us to have a relationship with it. You know, it wasn't that long ago, maybe 2 generations, that dying happened at home, and we cared for dying and we cared for the body. Now, it's not that it's impossible to die well in a hospital, but, you know, it's just challenging. You know, there's some science that would say that actually it takes longer for us to die now, perhaps because of the plethora of interventions. And depression and anxiety are quite expected by hospital staff. So is it true that all over the world that people really don't have a relationship with death or fear death? And just one little example. It is hard to die here, but here's an example. And I'm not holding it up as something that we need to move toward necessarily, but just that humans somewhere do honor death. This is the people of India, the Jain people of India, and this is the work of a colleague of mine, Anne Valalay at the University of Ottawa. And it's not just about dying, you know, this comes into aging too. So as one grows older in this culture, the elements of the body, the earth, air, water, and fire, are seen to quiet. And there's a welcoming of the possibility of withdrawing from youthful life to concentrate on the jiva, or the soul. So soul consciousness actually becomes heightened when outwardly focused consciousness is diminished. So, and these people typically will decide to stop eating at some point. And in a way, might we say it's a celebration. But at any rate, it's not a shock. It's not hidden. Death is culturally venerated. It's accompanied. And those who are present are honored to witness and help their loved one die. Interesting. So this focused attention on mortality and bodily vulnerability is precisely what cultivates compassion. And this may be missing for us. Let's look at some words with regard to dying and grief. This is Francis Weller that I spoke of. Bringing grief and death out of the shadow is our spiritual responsibility, our sacred duty. By doing so, we may be able to feel our desire for life again and remember who we are, where we belong, and what is sacred. So this doesn't speak of a morbidity, like a negativity with regard to bringing death and grief out of the shadow, that it actually helps us to cultivate our life and to remember who we are. This too, how we die and how we carry our dead, this makes our village life, our culture, or breaks it. So it's actually important how we die. It's important to our family, to our friends, to our culture, as they come to their own death.